All right, what's going on? We are live. For whatever reason, I'm having a snafu on my personal channel. It doesn't really matter because obviously BPI is where we're at. We're going to be going live. Obviously, you see that the background's a little bit better. We're getting a little bit better, a little bit more creative. We're going to be able to show numbers. We're going to have videos. We're going to be able to do things that a lot of other firms are not doing at all, even nationally. You know, I don't know a lot of people that are either agents or companies. They're going live. They're giving you guys numbers. They're giving you guys statistics. So if you guys have any questions, obviously leave in the comments below. I got my handy dandy iPad that I've just rifled through all the numbers. I've talked about it through July till now. Totally different marketplace. We can't go in emotionally. We have to go in logically. We have to go in with analytics. You got to make sure that not only if you're on the buy side that you're going in with comparables, but the recent comparables. You could even talk about how much inventory is on the market, which we're about to discuss in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. And the second thing is if you're on the listing side, we're about to put 3 homes on the market, and we're all doing it after Labor Day. You know, and we have it from, you know, maybe a few $100,000 all the way up to 2 million, and then we have one at 3 million, and that's brand new. That's a brand new apartment. Literally, it's a beautiful loft on LaGuardia Place, and I always say that wrong, so shout out to Emily. And essentially, I went into each one and I said, this is what we could provide, but I can tell you right now, if we don't actually put it on at the right price point, it doesn't matter who markets this. We could have this on a billboard. If someone doesn't feel there's a compelling value between your home and where the marketplace is right now, it's not going to sell. It right now is more crucial than ever before to ensure you pick the right agent going into a sale or into a purchase. So we're going to start with Manhattan first. Manhattan, it's gonna. I don't know how much glimmer of hope I'm gonna have, but inventory has reached the highest level since 2011. And year over year, it has increased 15%. That's a lot. So if you had 100, you now have 15%, which is you have all of the inventory that you had last year, which was a pretty healthy year, and then you have 15% more competition, and that's not even including all the people that are going to be entering the marketplace in the fall. Hamilton Heights was the only area that year over year that it dropped. Obviously, that's further up in Manhattan, 12% year over year. Homes offering discounts, so in other words, the amount of homes that actually had price reductions was at an all-time high. So that means the amount of down arrows you're going to see on StreetEasy or the MLS, wherever you're going to be getting your home research, 28% received price cuts, and that's an increase of 5% year over year. Okay, so 28%, almost 1/3 of the homes received price cuts. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's vital to go into the listing with the correct price, because if you put it on, it sits, it looks ugly, no one wants to buy it, and now you're just chasing the market. Now you're just chasing the numbers. And you have to you can only come on the market once. I've talked about that. I actually most recently talked about the 7 ways to bring your home evaluation up immediately before you even list. Go watch that video, it came out yesterday. The Upper East Side was the only sub-market, so obviously you have the market, which is say Manhattan, and you have sub-markets, Upper East Side, Upper West Side, Chelsea. Upper East Side was the only sub-market where the prices rose 3%. Across all the other sub-markets, Upper West Side, Chelsea, Murray Hill, Lower East Side, they dropped. So the Upper East Side was the only place in the submarket that it actually increased. Rents reached an all-time high, which was a little interesting to actually see. All-time high record of $3,200. $3,200. It increased 1.5%. It's not a lot, but it's still an increase. So that's a little interesting. I don't know if there's a lot of people. We're going to be talking about it, say maybe this week, about how to actually go back to your landlord when you get your lease renewal and fight them on the increase or just reduce it. You know, right now, honestly, though the statistics last month showed that there was a lot more rental inventory and the prices were flat and or going down, right now, year over year, it doesn't show otherwise. So rental offering discounts is actually at its lowest rate at only 20%. So that's a big difference. So rentals offering a price reduction or anything else is at the lowest level. Moving on to Brooklyn. So obviously Brooklyn has become a hot commodity. It's kind of one of those, we're on the Upper East Side, but do we go to East Harlem? Or we're on the Upper West Side, do we go to West Harlem? Do we go even further up to, say, Inwood, which is a beautiful area, by the way. So moving on to Brooklyn, home sales. So in other words, the amount of inventory hit an all-time high as well. Manhattan had an all-time high. Brooklyn had an all-time high. Year over year, it rose 24%. So the amount of homes that are actually that actually enter the marketplace year over year is up 1/4 more than last year. That's a lot of inventory. That needs to get absorbed by buyers. And this is the thing, and I'll talk about it at the end, where the buyer's mindset is at, in a very interesting conversation that I had. Price cuts rose to an all-time high as well. Brooklyn right now is not what it used to be. Obviously, the amount of inventory does not rival the amount of inventory in Manhattan. There's obviously less homes available on a number basis, but if you're talking about just Brooklyn, the amount of homes with the price cut, so another price reduction, however you want to call it, or in the sales arena, we call it a price improvement, reached an all-time high of 21% year over year. So the amount of price cuts has reached 1 out of 5 homes on the market right now has a price reduction. Prices dipped 0.5%, so pretty much flat. Except for North Brooklyn. Obviously, North Brooklyn is totally different. They have a lot of new developments. It is off the L train, and we'll talk about the rentals on that. So prices dipped 0.5% in Brooklyn, except for North Brooklyn, which is up 6%. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's 2010 to 2011-esque before it just started doing 10%, 12%, 13%. It's just started going crazy after the Great Recession. Homes stayed on the market for median days of 53 days, which is 1 day longer. That's not a big deal. North Brooklyn came off the market at 18 days faster. So we're going to compare the sales on North Brooklyn as opposed to the rentals. So the sales obviously is very healthy, 6%. The amount of days on the market is 18 days less than last year. However, this is a very interesting statistic. Rents reached an all-time high everywhere in Brooklyn except in North Brooklyn. And the reason being is there's a lot of people that if you're not going to ride out the L train shutdown, which is happening next year, they're saying around May, if you're not going to ride it out for 5 years, which, by the way, it's not going to be that convenient coming into the city. There's going to be a lot of traffic on the bridge when you're talking about bicyclists and when you're actually talking about cars, because you're going to have a lot of Ubers going back and forth, buses increasing, and then people are going to be using the ferry as well, which has become very popular in Brooklyn. It's actually really, honestly, in the summer, you have beautiful skyline views. You get dropped off either at Wall Street, further up on 34th Street. And there's a lot more going on. We were just out in South Street Seaport, and it was just amazing the amount of boat traffic. It was incredible. It looked like JFK at Christmas time. So moving on to Queens. Obviously, Queens in of itself is a little bit different. You have obviously the 7, then you have the yellow line that goes out there. LIC has exploded. That has pushed out further into Queens, everyone's favorite now area, which is Astoria. So the amount of inventory rose 19%. South Queens jumped 27%. That's the highest out of all the borough submarket of any borough. Homes offering price cuts, so in other words, the amount of homes that are on the market and they're offering a discount. In other words, they've reduced their price, is up 6% over last year, which isn't that much. That's not a big deal. North Queens, though, has really been hit hard. Literally, price cuts are up 10%. So when we see that, it's Econ 101, economics 101. You have a lot of inventory. The rentals feeds into the sales. So if the rentals are, and this is kind of the paradox, is that rentals right now, and I'll talk about Queens as well, rentals across all of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens is up. Except for North Brooklyn, obviously what I just talked about. But Queens is the only borough that prices rose 7%. That's the highest on record. So we're literally at a pinnacle. And we are in August. So it's going to be very interesting, the October report, because obviously we're about 30 days behind. And we have to compile the numbers, gets pumped out to the public, us, and then I give it to you guys. And essentially what we're going to be seeing in September, or when we do our September market report, it's going to be about August, okay? But the important one is after Labor Day, what are people doing? Are they coming back and they're absorbing this? And I'll talk to a very interesting conversation that I just had with an owner. South Queens sold at 12 days faster, median days 50 days on the market. So that's about average across the city, 50 days on the market, 53 in Brooklyn. Rents remain flat except for Central Queens, which rose 2.3%. However, this is very interesting. 20% of rentals offer discounts, which is the same amount as last year. So in, obviously summary, Manhattan, inventory is up 15%. Brooklyn, inventory is up 24%. Queens, it's up 27%. Price cuts are up across the board, 5%, 4%, 6%. And pricing, except for Queens, which is up 7%, Brooklyn is flat, and so is Manhattan. So essentially what we saw in the summer, and this is very interesting because rents have gone up, but when we did last month's market report, we had rents were actually going down. So if rents are going down and the pricing of sales are going down, and the reason being why this is important is because if you have rentals and all they're doing is remaining flat or going down, people have no incentive to buy. So if they have no incentive to buy, then they're not going to buy. It's simple as that. And then the inventory starts going up, and then they start saying, actually, it's in our best interest to either wait. And obviously we're looking at interest rates, but to be honest, right now it's really inventory levels. That is the crucial point after Labor Day. Where do the inventory levels go? Because if the inventory levels rise on the sales side, that means that they were not absorbed. Because right now people are spending money. I've talked about it on a couple other lives, is that people are spending money. It's just they're on vacation. They're at weddings. They're going to their summer house. They're going to the Hamptons. They're going to Jersey Shore, wherever people go outside of May. I'm working too hard. This is the biggest thing, is that when they come back and all the weddings, all the shore houses are over, and they stopped spending money, do they pump it into real estate? Are they bullish about the real estate market? Honestly, for me, I think one of the biggest things is, as the light goes off right above me, is it's going to be very interesting if that continues and inventory still goes up. That's going to go into next year. And if the amount of inventory that's unsold goes into next year is also going to have inventory as well, okay? And if you literally take the fall inventory and then you put the spring inventory of 2019 on top of it, you're now looking at a massive amount of homes available for sale. Then it gets really interesting. What are people going to do? I'm not sounding, good or bad. It's more about, number one, this is the reality. Okay, and number two is that you have to go into, if you're selling your home, you have to go in educated. You cannot go in and just say, this is what I think my home is worth, or my neighbor sold it at here, or I'm looking to sell and I see all these high-priced apartments. Yeah, but they're not selling. Okay, that's the biggest thing, is that what you see on the market is not selling. You have to see what was put into contract. Tell your listing agent, or tell your agent, obviously us, who's going to be representing your home, say, okay, ping all these agents that have contracts signed, find out, is it close to the asking price? Is it at the asking price? What's the discount off the asking price? Because if you're putting your home on, it's going to sit if it's not priced well, okay? There's three types of there's three types of putting your home on the market at the right price. The price it should go at, above the asking price, which nothing right now is going to do unless it's way undervalued, and then below the asking price. Okay, below the asking price is divorce or a baby or estate sale, where you have a bunch of things going on in your life and you're like, just sell it. Okay, at the market value is, I need this money, I want to transition it to the suburbs, or if you're doing a 1031 exchange, which is taking like investment properties and moving it into like investment properties. So obviously, it's a totally different market. You have to go in educated. You have to ask your real estate professional. And this is when you have to start working with people that are actually worth their salt in this industry. We had a massive amount of people that entered the industry that were not that good real estate-wise, and they made some money. But the real good agents are the ones that easily ride out this next little couple of months into the fall, and then we obviously people that were dabbling or were hobbyists in real estate, don't talk to them. They don't know. You need someone that has at least 9 years experience, 10 years experience, which is us, because we went through 2009. We know exactly what happens, okay? I'm not saying there's a recession. We're far from it. But these are the numbers that say you have to go in analytically, you have to go in educated. So if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Subscribe if you guys are on YouTube. Like, comment, obviously, if you're on Facebook. We're super excited about, obviously, the setup. And if you guys are interested in, obviously, the news, maybe celebrity on real estate, we're going to be coming out with an Instagram handle that handles that. We're going to have Morgan, who we hired. She's also going to be doing copywriting. We're going to do physical mailers. We're going to be doing, we're going to be sponsoring this. So we're pumping all of our money back into the marketplace. And that's going to be content. That's going to be better, just graphics, execution, numbers, obviously this nice studio setup. So any questions, leave in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys soon, probably tomorrow. We're actually going to be talking about the top 3 things that you need to go into a purchase. Okay? It's very important, obviously, but have a good day. Talk to you guys soon. And if you guys, of course, have any questions, leave in the comments below. Charles@bpi.live is my personal email. See you soon.